Is it recording on here?
Are we recording in 3, 2, 1?
And 3, 2, 1, and we are live.
Everybody, Danny and Gino on the What Not to Do. Is this really like a podcast, or is this like I can't figure it out because
We got a few things going.
I have no idea where it actually goes.
It's like,
people were like, "Hey, where do I find this thing?" I'm like, "It's called the interwebs. Go look for it."
Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty much a mix between YouTube, Facebook, and soon to be uploaded on some sort of podcast.
Soon to be.
Soon to be.
I gotta freaking how do I share this thing on my page here? Anyways, everybody,
We'll figure it out.
Danny and Gino, What Not to Do, episode number 4. We are super excited. Hey, Sadie. Hey, Sam.
Good
to
morning.
see you guys. Good morning. Before we get started, we need to thank Startup Street. And listen, the reality of our matter is we couldn't be doing this without Colin and Jeremy from Startup Street. Excellent guys. They're our sponsors for this show. They've been supporting us from day one. In fact, they were the ones that kept asking us when are we starting. So
Absolutely.
thank you to the both of you too. I really appreciate it, Jeremy. You've done a lot for us, and
Great job.
Big shout out. Of course, we got to start off with I love you, Mama.
I love you, Mama. Love you, Mama.
I love you, Mama. You know who you are. I love you very much. So let's get started. This is something that's near and dear to me, folks. This show actually we have no idea what we're talking about till about either the night before, the morning of, or like as we're walking in the door.
That's about right.
Our reactions to real life is what we're talking about here. So you think we're actually helping you, but the reality of the matter is I think you're helping us talk things out so that A, we don't choke people out, and B, we don't choke ourselves out.
100%. Nailed it.
So this week, we want to talk about 2 topics. One is excuses, and the second one is forgiveness.
Yes.
One I'm really good at, which is making excuses, and one I'm really bad at, which is forgiving.
You're in good company.
So I think one of the important things for us to talk about is making excuses. So people constantly are like, dude, where do you find the energy? How do you get it all done? You do so much in one day. And all of that is fine and dandy. But the reality is when we titled this thing, What Not to Do, it was because we are you. We are normal people that are just trying to figure this out, just like you. So the other day someone goes, "Hey man, you've been in the gym a lot, man. You're in great shape." And I was like, let me just put up my picture from this time last year when I weighed 200 and almost 50 pounds, 245 pounds. And then I was fat and I hadn't seen a gym in almost 10 years. 10 years. What was the difference, right? What happened?
Bingo.
I was just tired of making excuses. So,
and look, that's the thing. Every single person, all of us, we do it. I am guilty of it on a regular basis. But when you really break down what an excuse is, it's a limitation, right? You are imposing limitations on yourself from being able to achieve the greatness that awaits each and every one of us. And absolutely, I wholeheartedly believe that every single person that is listening, watching, that exists on this planet is able to achieve greatness. Now, how you define that, that's up to an individual perspective. But the more excuses you make, the more limitations you're putting on yourself from getting to where you actually deserve and need to be.
But so let's break it down even further, because we promised that we'd be really, really raw.
Oh, yeah.
Excuses are bullcrap.
Yes.
Excuses are total shit.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So the reality of the matter is, when you're making an excuse, you're setting that limitation, but the only person you're kidding is yourself.
That's exactly
the only person you're tricking is yourself, because when you say it to us, we're if you're my friend, I've got your back. I'm not a judgmental person.
Of course.
Unless you're a bad father or you get women.
Right.
But I'm not a judgmental person. So if Gino's like, "Hey man, I can't go work out today," whatever, I'm going to support him. But deep down inside, he knows he's letting himself down. And if you don't think I know he's making an excuse, it is what it is. But you go to the gym. How about this? Let's keep with the gym motif, right? We've got dudes in the gym who are shock diesel strong.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh yeah.
And they are mentally weak.
Yes.
They are mentally weak, and they chalk up their excuses right as they walk in the gym.
Yes.
So when you look at them from the outside, they look all buff and they look ready. This is just like in regular life. You see someone who's in a suit, they're put together, they've got a degree, they've got whatever it is they do, and they go in and they look put together, but inside they're so mentally weak that they stack up their excuses for how they're going to fail that day.
Danny, so how many times have you met folks or interacted with folks that, listen, on the onset, it's all smiles and all happiness, but deep down inside, they are breaking, they are cracking,
Sure.
right? And so when you think about the level, right, of insecurities, when you think about the level, the lack of confidence in themselves, and they are doing these things, whether it's the gym getting rock diesel, whatever it is, as a way to cope, right, with that mechanism, as a way to build up some sort of pseudo belief in themselves, some sort of pseudo definition of what they stand for. And at the end of the day, the most powerful tool that any of us has weighs 3 pounds. 3 pounds, right? And what is it, Danny?
It's your brain.
It's your brain, right? And no, I'm not going to go PhD.
Oh, yes, he is.
But
At least that you know he is.
this thing right here, right? Being able to tap in and dive in and understanding, to Danny's point, excuses are shit. And that's exactly what they are, right? But do we all do them all the time? Absolutely we do. The question is, at your core, what you believe in and what is it you want your best version of you to be? Are you pushing that forward? And that's a daily struggle. The question is, do you have the endurance and the intestinal fortitude to stay in the fight for nobody else but yourself?
And the thing is, this is a journey. This is literally a journey. Nobody goes, okay, today I'm going to make no excuses. Today I'm not going to fail. Today I'm going to make everything right. That's absolute crap. We are on this journey, what not to do. We're trying to figure it out. You know, we messed up yesterday. We're not going to do it again today. Then we do it again today. It's fine. But the reality of the matter is you've got to at least acknowledge that you are an excuse maker. And those are lies that get you through your day, right? So if you say, I can't do it, you know that that's a lie. You know that that is not true. You're like, okay, I can start on Monday. That's a lie. No, you're just kidding yourself.
Carpe diem, right now. You about it, be
all
about
the time. So, hey, you know, I'm gonna start working out on Monday. You know, I'm gonna start working out on Monday. And then you know what I'll do? I'll hammer like 15 scoops of ice cream and go, oh, this little pocket of fat right here, I'll get rid of it on Monday.
Yep.
So here's what I did. I finally got so tired. There's a dude at work. His name is Gurgel. It's the year of the Gurge. And I called the guy who works at our gym, and I said, who's up at like 4 a.m? And he says, there's a guy who comes in. His name is Gurgel. Every single day he's there at 3:30 or 4. And I was like, I'm going to go call that guy and say, if you don't see me in the gym, I want you to call me out. Now, let me tell you something. You give a cop an excuse to call you out, he's like popping candy. He's like, oh my God, let me get drunk on this, right? So I went there for like 3 days and I was so sore and I didn't go on the 4th day because it was my planned rest day. Bing! What's up, Sally? Are you too scared to show up? And then next thing you know, the Gurge is like pushing me through. So I really, really am appreciative to that. But that's how I got in. That was my coping mechanism, my tool. And it turns out that we do that for a lot of people. You know what I mean? We do that for a lot of people.
And so here's the thing with that too, Danny. When you think about, and what a great decision, when you level up, right, and you force yourself to interact and be surrounded by folks who you know are going to push you. And listen, it's not going to be fun. There's nothing exciting. Listen, 3:30 in the morning, right? Like that's rough, right? But the fact that the discipline is there, the fact that you've leveled up, and you're like, you know what? I need this. For me to be the best version of me, I'm going to do this. I'm going to push through the suck. I'm going to embrace the fight, and I'm going to show up every single day. Listen, rather than that you get it handed to you on a plate, it doesn't matter. The fact is that you're there. You're showing up and you're putting in the work.
But it's not only that I'm there. It's, I want everyone to understand, I didn't do it by myself. I was mentally weak. A guy that you might perceive as being mentally strong, I was mentally weak. I couldn't do it. I had 1,000,001 excuses. I signed up for the gym, and just like everybody else, my gym membership got charged. And if you go to look at a record, I barely ever win.
Show up. Yeah.
So I needed help. I reached out for help, and it was just this minor motivation. I wanted you to call me out. I wanted you to call me weak. I wanted you to tell me I was a wussy, and I got in, and then the machine started getting itself. So, you know, if you just acknowledge that your excuses in life are what are holding you back, man, that is one of the victories, that greatest victories you can make.
Absolutely. And you know, the power of just doing it.
Yeah.
And not to be cliche, right? No play on Nike, right? But legitimately, just do it, right? No, cut the excuses out. Cut whatever perceived limitations that you have. It's exactly that. It's a perceived limitation. It's not a real limitation, right? We have folks that live a life. I'm going to give you a prime example. My mother, right? My mom is a cancer survivor, right? Yeah. My mom has had heart procedures done, hip replacements done. Listen, that woman wakes up every single day with a smile on her face. And you know what she's always looking to do? How can I help somebody else? Yeah. It's not the woe is me party. There's no excuses. I can't do this. No. She is out there and she's striving to make a difference. That to me, that is the definition the definition of what courage and what a hero looks like.
Absolutely. And so in the lineup, right? So if you have surrounded your life with excuses, then you're normal. I just need you to understand that. Let's be abnormal.
Yes.
Let's get out of the normality. If you're on a journey and you're trying to accomplish something, the first thing you need to accomplish is being honest with yourself and block your excuses. You don't have to be great. You don't, like when I fail at something, I'm like, dude, that was my fault.
Of course.
You see where I went
Own it.
there? I own it. And so I'm probably talking to myself like that on a regular basis.
Oh, I'm right there with you.
I'm full of excuses. I shouldn't have done it. And I'm really thinking that, man, next time it wouldn't be Jim's fault.
Yes.
It wasn't Jim's fault. It was my fault.
No. And the thing about it is, the more you say it, the more excuses that you sit there and turn up for yourself, the more you buy into it, by the way.
That's
Right. And so when you hold yourself accountable, the power and accountability, and listen, to Danny's point, you do have to reach out for help sometimes. Listen, that happens to me all the time. I will slack off at the gym, or there's times where I don't make it to the boxing gym, and I will call my coach, who's been a lifelong mentor for me. And he's like, dude, what are you doing?
Right.
Get in here, put in the work, right? And so I need that accountability, right? I need to get smacked in the face. I need to see that my reaction time is not what it used to be. I need to see I don't hit as hard as I used to, right? That it's important.
It's funny. I was just thinking about this. What's
Did you see that? Real nice, KD.
What's Gino's
Real nice.
excuse for that sweater? I said the same thing. I was like, listen, this
Right.
fashionista right here.
Fashionista. That's where'd you get that? Yeah, where'd you get that?
Baby Gap is calling. I'd like my sweater back. So what's interesting
Good one, KD.
is
Good one, brother.
when we talk about coaches, you might have to be someone's mentor, but it's not like something you can't like force it on someone. You have to go in and they have to want it and they have to ask for it. It's part of their journey for getting better.
Absolutely.
There are times when I will call and I'll call Gino or my buddy Sam, and they will listen just like this. They'll be like, yeah, that's great. Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, bro. You know you're dumb, right? And I'm like, Because when I respect you and when I listen to you and when I came to you and you are calling me out on my stuff, helping me, get rid of my excuses, it hurts, but that truth is literally what will set you free and on the path to being a successful person, whatever that means to you.
That's exactly
whatever that means to you.
No, and the thing about it is the power that you find in that accountability. Right. And being able to listen, not just know it yourself, but when you have somebody else calling you out on it, for most of us, that's going to serve as motivation.
Yeah, but listen,
I don't want to be that guy or that gal.
It's not calling you out like, hey, I'm telling you the truth to tell you the truth.
No.
It's more like, bro, I hear that, but you do realize that you were responsible for that part of your relationship that didn't work,
and
right?
Own it.
Yeah. And so if you're trying to be honest with yourself, you self-reflect and you're like, he's right. Now, it hurts, it smarts. Your natural reaction is, Gino, who the hell do you think you are? You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, when someone actually has your best interest, then you recognize that they're just trying to help elevate you and move you forward.
Well, and that's such a big thing too, Danny. Recognizing who you surround yourself with and who you take counsel from to make sure that they really, truly do have your best interest at heart. Because listen, there are times where you think you know what's best for you and you don't. You don't, right? Because you are falling into the trap that is human emotion, that is human perception of what we think is what the right direction is, but it's actually not at all.
Seriously, the reason we call this thing What Not to Do is because I am the best person in the world to give you advice, but I would walk right into the wall being like, wait, I just told them not to do that, and I just did it.
Yes.
So for us, for me, What Not to Do is a very, very real thing. You know what I mean? And as we try to peel the onion back and show you all the mistakes that we've made and that we do, the purpose really, really is to show you that you are normal, that you are real. How many times, like when growing up in Cuban families, when we grow up and people be like, your mom would be like, mijo, don't say that to nobody. We don't want anybody to know that we're having that problem.
Yes, absolutely. Of course, man.
So you grew up thinking everyone else was like the Leave It to Beavers, right? And then next you know, your family's the one that's all jacked up, but don't tell anybody. And it turns out that everyone is jacked up.
Oh, man. And here's the thing, right? When you look at the differences that exist, and not just amongst individuals, family units, social groups, friends, whatever, you're talking about a smorgasbord of differences, right? And conflicts and people not seeing eye to eye. And Listen, there's problems everywhere. The most important thing that you can do, and to Danny's point, that accountability factor of yourself, because listen, I can't control what Fulano over there is doing, right?
Fulano.
But what can I control, right? When you have the discipline to control what comes out of your mouth and what you do with yourself, now you're talking some pretty powerful stuff. But the question is, how many folks actually do that?
No.
Exactly.
No. But for you, if you're listening and if you're wondering, everyone is jacked up.
Oh yeah, everyone's got problems. Everyone's got
The
problems.
more you see this perfection on Instagram, this perfection on Facebook, or even in your perceived reality at work, the dude drives a great car. He's always in a suit. Her makeup is on point. Her shoes are great. I'm looking at that. 90% of the time, I'm going, those people are the most jacked up. There's the most jacked up right over there. You know what I mean? The people that are truly free are the ones that walk around with their scars and they're like, look at that scar right there, man. That one sucked. Right. That one sucked, but I grew from it and I learned. You know what I mean? You got to you got to understand that everyone in this journey is together. No one is perfect.
No, and the thing there, and it's a good point, growth, right? Everything, every trial, every tribulation, though it does suck to go through, right? There is a light at the end of the tunnel. And that old adage, right? What doesn't kill you will make you grow, makes you stronger, right? That is very true. The question is, do you have the intestinal fortitude? Do you have the ability to understand that while you're in the fight, it will get better one day. It will, right? Eventually the punching stops. Eventually, listen, if you're getting choked out, you're going to go to sleep and that's that, right? You're not going to feel the pain anymore. But the same thing applies when it comes to life. No matter what, no matter how hard, how difficult it is, if you stick with it, you believe in yourself, and you know at the end of the day, you're going to push through it and you don't make any excuses for where you've had faults, there's light at the end of the tunnel and you'll grow from it.
Yeah, there is light at the end of the tunnel. So we're running over halfway of this show. We're more than halfway.
God, it goes fast.
That's because you're such a good looking guy.
Are you kidding me? I mean, this guy over here, I just feel like but yeah.
I have no idea what we've even talked about.
It's great.
So let's talk about forgiveness.
Yes.
All right, as we transition from excuses to forgiveness. And this is something that I am extremely, when I say extremely weak, because loyalty to me is my currency. And loyalty to me is something that I demand.
Yes.
I use the word demand purposefully.
Yes.
I demand loyalty. I give loyalty to those that have earned it and deserve it. And sometimes I have given it to those who don't deserve it. And so when you get burned,
oh yeah,
when you get hurt, forgiveness, I hear, is another key to freedom, but it's one that is like really hard for me to unlock.
Yeah, I'm going to have to definitely agree with you on that one. That is a very, very tough one. But you know, the thing is, and I know this in my mind, I know there is freedom in forgiveness.
Yeah.
Right. But getting to the point to forgive, especially when it comes to the things that matter most to you, right? It is a struggle and it's a constant balance. It's not even a balance. It's a fight between maintaining anger and pain and hurt and just letting it go.
Yeah.
Right. And so, and I will tell you, I haven't figured it out yet. I don't. I mean, I keep, and anytime there's an occurrence or something happens where I get angry or I feel like my loyalty is betrayed, yeah, there's an immense amount of hurt and anguish and anger there. But at the same time, I know the other side is if I just let it go, it'll simmer down and I'm not going to let it eat me up inside. Right. Because it does. It occupies so much room in your brain rent free that it's not worth it. But then you're contending with emotion. I haven't figured that out yet.
The older I get, I feel like I'm more aware of it, but I'm still not in control of myself enough to be like that Gandhi-like dude.
I'm not,
you know
there.
what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I really want to be. And,
Yeah.
and you know what? I think I'm just gonna suck it up. There's a dude out there who's has pissed me off.
Yeah.
And I've been carrying so much freaking anger towards that guy for so long. You know what I mean? That see, what happens is, like, you're right. It it takes a piece of your mind and your body. And I'm always the one that says, I don't have room for drama.
Right.
But I'm keeping this drama in my head.
Of course.
Why?
Of course.
I mean, so what? The guy's could be a jerk. He could, I don't really care I don't even know what he's doing these days. You know what I mean? But I haven't forgiven that dude. And it's not about him. It's about me, just to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn what. I mean, I don't even give a damn if I ever see him again.
Right.
But if I could forgive that guy in my mind's eye, then that chapter closes.
Yes.
And I can move on.
No, but that's it though. That's it. The moment that you actually do forgive, right, and you let it go, you free yourself, and that is the God's honest truth. Because every single time I've ever had to deal with an issue, and I've gotten to the point of listen. All right, I'll give you guys a prime example. When I was a very young child, I was in 3rd grade, my aunt was shot in the head, right, while I was driving home. It was me and my 2 smaller cousins.
Shot, like with a gun?
Shot with a gun. And as a child, the anger, the confusion that you carry, I mean, for years, you can only imagine, right, in 3rd grade, you see something like that, right? I come to find out it was a 16-year-old kid, right, that got a hold of one of his dad's firearms. Anyways, long and short, you see something like that and you harbor an immense amount of anger, pain, confusion. And when I finally got to the point, many years later, mind you, right, to actually let it go, it changed me, right? And come to find out, it was a defining moment in my life to get into protection and all that kind of stuff. But when you get to that point and you can free yourself, and even as an adult, as I deal with these things, it takes a little bit shorter time, but it doesn't make it any easier.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It doesn't make it any easier, because especially when loyalty is your currency and that loyalty is betrayed, man, for things that matter the most, you'll do anything to make it stop, or for it not to happen, and there's nothing you can do.
Let me tell you
Nothing.
something. I don't think that people really understand the reaches and the levels I will go to go freaking make someone that I love whole when they're hurt. You know what I mean? Like the amount of pain I would like to cause somebody else when they hurt someone that I love.
Oh yeah.
They're like, oh, we're like civilized people. I will get uncivilized. I will
100%.
wreck you and destroy you. You know what I mean? But that's really not good energy. I get it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be more civilized, but all I want to do is I want to just crush that person.
Because you want to make it go away.
I don't want to make it go away. I want to hurt them.
No. I hear you, but at a deep, deep level, the idea is if you're a fixer, right?
Yeah.
And especially if you know
I'm a
that
fixer.
person, you're a fixer, right? And so this person is doing X, so I need to do Y so we can get to Z. And Z is neutrality, everyone's fine, right? But when you realize that by you doing that, and listen, I'm guilty as charged, man. My immediate go-to is put it down.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever it is, put it
Yeah.
down, right? So, but at the same time, when you play it out on the long term, right? How does that ripple effect truly? Is that really the best response?
It's not.
And it's not. It's not.
It
right?
really is a waste.
It is. It's a waste, right? And then, especially when it's over things that are so insignificant, right? And insignificant in the sense of you just feel sorry for the person. You look at the person, you're like, wow, that's where you're at in this journey of life. That's where you think. That's what you think is okay to do. I'm sorry for you, but you know the choice I'm going to make. I'm going to distance myself from you. You do what you want to do, as long as it doesn't conflict with my personal interest. Now, if it conflicts with my personal interest, we have to figure something out. But if it's a choice of where I entertain what you're doing and how you're doing it or not, I'm not going to.
Bro, I don't know. Like in one freaking conversation, I've gone from I want to forgive that dude to I want to crush someone's face.
I think that's pretty standard though, man. I think it's pretty normal. I think most folks can relate to when someone has felt betrayed or hurt, that go to immediate anger, right? And I'm going to respond by doing X, Y, or Z because I want that person to go. I want it to stop. As opposed to, wow, I mean, it's sad.
You know,
It's sad.
Stephanie, you're correct. We should just let it go. Svetlana, good
You
morning.
are, yeah, absolutely. Beth,
Rachel,
good
hello,
morning.
Good morning.
Rachel, good morning.
The reality for me is that this forgiveness is going to be part of my growth probably till the day I die. If you hurt someone I love, I just want to bring the pain to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can be a fair judge. You know, what's funny, as a lawyer, I think I learned how to compartmentalize my emotions.
Of course.
And I can get that. But like if you were to hurt my son or you were to hurt someone that I love, you know, if you're a guy that hurts a girl, I will literally come and want you to feel the same thing they do, one way or another. But at the end of the day, the higher strength, the higher pain is when you stand above it. You know what I mean? Like we always tell people, haters are going to hate. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you get a lot of arrows at you when you're on a podcast. You get a lot of arrows at you when, like, you know, you think you have a big personality. I got it. But at the end of the day, when you ignore those people, what? It hurts them more.
Well, that's the whole thing.
I got to remember that.
No, and it's true,
remind me of
right?
that?
No, and remind me too. But you know, but it's so true, right? When you are sitting there, and think of this, man. when you have the capacity, and everyone watching, when this thing in between your ears, when you have the ability, when you're truly focused to do wonderful things, wonderfully positive things, and yet call it 30%, 40% is occupied because you're dwelling on something that somebody else is doing, that's their own personal decision, that's going to ultimately affect their life in a very negative way in the long term. Listen, they're making their bed. And at the end of the day, it's going to come full circle. And who is to say that we are to be, judge and jury? I mean, that's not how it works.
Right.
How it works is, listen, you plant certain seeds and you're going to reap what you sow, right? And so if that's what they're sowing, I feel sorry for them, because what's waiting for them at the end of their tunnel, no thank you.
Actually, that's really true.
I mean, but it's easy to say. In the moment where there's intense emotion and you get defensive, right? It's very hard not to want to throw down. I mean, it's very difficult. I totally get it. I totally get it.
I take it out in the gym.
And listen, and there's the outlet.
Listen, my rage cage in the gym.
My rage cage.
Sometimes Sam's like, "Why are you so angry?" I'm like, "Little Sammy, I am on it today." But it's just one of those things that place helps me, and then I try to find that like nirvana type state, which I will never get to, because I'm like,
don't short sell yourself, man. I think you will. I think the more time you spend in it, and listen, and everybody goes through this. The more time, the older you get, the wiser you get. There's a reason why guys like you and I, we take counsel and we take advice, not from, each other. Okay, but we all know how that turns out. But guys who are 60s, 70s, who've been there, done that, seen it, right? And so when you're talking about dealing with these stressors, these life trials and tribulations of dealing with other people, the best answer always is silence. But it's tough. It's tough.
Do you know everybody that's listening to me has ever heard me? They're like, "Yeah, Alvarez can do silence."
Goals. No excuses, Alvarez.
Life goals, no excuses. I will fail, but I will try failing. All right, everybody. That looks like we are at the end of our fourth podcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. You have no idea how much that means to us.
It does.
We get a lot of feedback during the week.
A ton.
And we're shocked.
And by the way, we do want to do a very quick shout out to Gaither High School.
Heck yeah, go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys. Danny and I had an awesome opportunity to talk to a group of incredible young men who make up their varsity football team this week. And we'll be posting some pictures and videos up on the Facebook page, so look out for those. But truly an inspiring group of young men who are going great places.
Listen, you want to get high, you don't need drugs. Just go fire up a few kids and you'll see exactly how
That's
much
God's honest truth, because let me tell you what, I think they pumped you and I up more than they pumped them up.
They did. I left everybody to go do another workout.
Legitimately.
All right, everybody. Thank you from Danny and Gino.
Absolutely,
this is What Not to Do, number 4. We'll see you on the next one.
Make it a great day.
Bye-bye.